An absolutely massive gain for reform this week, a gain at the expense of Labour on the very day that we've seen Andy Burnham, of course, announced as the new Labour leader in a coronation. Absolutely no mandate in terms of being Prime Minister whatsoever. And Burnham himself, previously describing their Theresa May in 2017 as an unelected Prime Minister. Of course, I expect Labour will be complete hypocrites about this. The country is crying out for a general election. They seem to be very resistant to that at the moment. But do consider the fact that you have seen some evidence now of what was expected, which is a bit of a new leader at Burnham bounce. I doubt it will last very long at all. And two things really, watching Andy Burnham speak, struck me today. Firstly, that on an issue that voters think is so critical and so important now, immigration, Andy Burnham seems to have absolutely nothing to say whatsoever. And I also noted that Burnham repeatedly referred to sort of deindustrialisation of decades gone by.
I want people to understand the thinking behind the political direction I set, so people can see the decisions we take and the reasons why. I am clear, Britain took a series of wrong turns in the 1980s. Political power was centralised and economic power was privatised. The country surrendered control of the essentials: housing, water, energy, transport, and left people exposed to higher costs. That in turn led to the concentration of more wealth and power in the hands of fewer people and fewer places. Large parts of Britain were deindustrialised without the power to set new ambitions for themselves. Proud British towns, now a shadow of what they once were, and high streets in decline, so common up and down the country.
Whilst not recognising that Labour's net zero obsession, having taken over that Conservative policy and driven it forward, that right now, not in the past, right now, present day, is deindustrialising this country at a very disturbing rate indeed. I will play some of the Andy Burnham speech at the end of this video if you didn't see it, and please do let me know your thoughts on Burnham in the comments below. But in terms of the by-elections that have taken place this week, you have seen a big Norfolk Police and Crime Commissioner by-election result take place. Before I get to that, you've got the various council by-elections we've seen, and we start off in Cambridgeshire, where you can see Reform's vote down, but holding that seat against what looks like a pretty big challenge there from an independent. In Stafford, you've got a Labour hold, but just look at that Labour percentage of the vote, down pretty drastically, with Reform just behind there in second place and the Tories down significantly. In Peterborough, you've actually got a Green gain from the Labour Party, and you can see there the Greens winning that seat with Reform in second, Labour third and the Conservatives fourth. In South Staffordshire, that's a Conservative hold, but again, their vote share down quite considerably. And you can see their Reform in second place there. In Breckland, you've actually got there a Conservative gain from Labour, and just look at that Labour percentage of the vote absolutely collapsing. And then when it comes to this big Norfolk Police and Crime Commissioner election, this is what happened. Reform have gained this from Labour. So you can see there, Reform, the only party scoring over 20% of the vote. The Conservative vote share down massively, more than halving. The Green vote down slightly. Labour's vote down by 2/3. Restore there at about 11%. And the Lib Dems declining as well to below 9%. And as Zia Youssef has pointed out, the Tory vote in the Norfolk Police and Crime Commissioner race collapsing from 34% in 2024 to just 15% today, and saying there that Kemi Badenoch claimed the annihilation they got in May was because of a high watermark. But again, this is a Conservative collapse from where they were in 2024, because if you go back to 2024, you can see what happened, which is that Labour took that with 35%, the Conservatives at just under their 34%. And that really is, isn't it? Quite the contrast again in fortunes in terms of the Conservative and Labour parties, both going backwards consistently at by-elections. That is a major gain for reform in that by-election. But as I said, if you didn't see Andy Burnham, the new Labour leader, and our next Prime Minister, who's going to come in, of course, with absolutely no mandate, with a country where a majority of the people want to see desperately a general election. Will Burnham have the bottle to call that election, or is he going to cling on till the bitter end? Well, whatever happens, I'll keep bringing you all the latest, of course, right here on my channel. This is what Andy Burnham had to say today.
Slowly, at times imperceptibly, over 4 decades, political and economic power drained away out of our communities in every region and nation of the UK. If local places don't control something as basic as a bus service, how can they connect people to opportunity and turn things around? If the sell-off of council homes leaves the country chasing rents in the private rented sector through the benefits system and paying for temporary accommodation for thousands of families as they have to do here in London and elsewhere across the country, how then will we find the money to invest in prevention and improve people's lives? The truth is we can't. And if we don't have sufficient public control over the cost of the essentials, how can we have control over inflation, public spending, and the rest of the economy? The right used the phrase, take back control, but they are the ones who gave it away in the first place. If we want an economy and a country that works for all people and places, which to me should always be at the very core of Labourism, then it requires a new path to the one we've been on for the last 40 years. The government I lead will confidently lay that path out starting next week. And that is why this change today is the most significant change moment in our politics for 40 years. It will take us to a country where life is more affordable and all people and places are lifted from where they are now. And conference, this is my 4th commitment to you. I mean it when I say all places. I will be a leader for the North, the South, the East and the West, for Scotland, Wales and for Northern Ireland. Yes, the north of England has given me so much, everything, in fact. And in return, I have sought to give it the strongest voice I could. That was my job. But now I do the same for everywhere.